Hi everyone, this is a deck profile and sort of tournament breakdown of the deck I used to top NBT's Quarantine series. I went X1 in Swiss and then immediately lost in top 8. That's alright. We're playing Superheavy Samurai, so this is a lot of fun. It's not an FTK like the deck I used last time. This is more of a sort of control deck, I suppose. Our aim is to make some stally monsters like VFD going first, and close out games with access code talker, or just by pure advantage generating cards. Yeah, and overwhelm, outgrind basically. So let's start with the deck. I think I have to go through it rather than just explain the strategies. Not like the FDK, where you're doing the same thing every game. So we've got Wagon and Soul Piercer. These are our one-card VFDs at the very least. We have Superheavy Samurai Scales. Scales is good for the grind. It brings back a monster from the graveyard. You don't really want to see it in the starting hand, but we play 3 just so we can keep going longer. And we've got the cards that we want to be searching off of Soul Piercer. That's Soul Claw, Soul Horns, and Soul Peacemaker and Transporter. Transporter is just here as a level 5, which when we get Anchor Drill later, that makes 9, and we can get to True King of all Calamities. Got a couple of Garnets, Gold Gadget and Ancient Gearbox. We don't want to draw these. Gold Gadget is kind of fine to draw. You can make a rank 4 Xyz. But Gearbox is terrible, but we have to play it. It lets you search any Earth machine with 500 attack or defense. So that can be most of our Infinitrack monsters, or it can be Soul Claw. Speaking of Infinitracks, that's what we've got next. Brutal Dozer is a free rank 5, but it does lock you into Earth machines, and that did bite me a couple of times. You can't make Zeus afterwards, for example, because you're locked into Earth. So I'm not sure if this was the best idea. Tunneler, if I did stick with Brutal Dozer, then I might up Tunneler, because there's a bunch of times where I had Brutal Dozer and no Infinitracks left in the deck. Because I'd searched Tunneler to be my level 5 instead of Transporter to combine with Anchor Drill. We've got a couple of Machinas in here, Citadel and Metal Crunch. I was trying out the spell card. What's it called? Machina Overdrive? No, that's what I've actually got. Machina? Their spell card, Redeployment, that's it. The problem with this is you have to play a whole bunch of Machinas that aren't very good. It's like 3 playables to 3 Garnets. So I wanted to try something else, so I'm using Overdrive instead to find them. You just have to have a machine on the field, and you always will. It can also trigger Platinum Gadget, which gets stuck on the field when you're going first, since you can't link it off. Yeah, so that's where we're going with Citadel and Metal Cruncher. Metal Cruncher gets you a search on summon. Citadel, really want to find a lot. It's like really, really good, especially now. It interacts pretty well against True King of all Calamities. There's not much in the game right now that's common with more attack than it. There's Eldritch when they come back from the graveyard. So this is super good. We've got Bullet Train as a sort of extender and recovery. This is great to discard, great to summon. You do have to draw it though, so that's why we've got 3. And Hand Traps, all we've got is Gamma. There's more in the side deck, but for the main, just Gamma. And of course, Driver. Droplets, we're playing spells in Super Heavy. The only Super Heavy monsters that actually are scared of spells are the extra deck monsters, Scarecrow, and the tuners. Any of the ones that have the effect to summon themselves from the hand, like Transporter does. They all don't want you to have spells or traps in the grave, but we're not looking to summon Transporter with its own effect. Those ones also lock you into Super Heavy Samurai for the rest of the turn, and that would really hurt with this extra deck. So spells are fine. Inclusion and Droplet is great because we're playing a whole bunch of cards like Gearbox and Heavy Forward that just stick around. We search them, we play that and we search another card. You search Gearbox, it searches another card, and Gearbox is dead. So we can just throw them away for droplets and negate more cards. Urgent Schedule, we're also playing that. Urgent Schedule is a great way to get to Citadel. It gets Soul Piercer from the deck. You play it for going second, and you set it going first, and it still tends to resolve. Even if it gets popped, it pays you back, searching a bullet train or Citadel if you've not found it yet. Just a crazy good card. If you send it off of droplets, it triggers and searches your card. It's so good. This is the main thing keeping me off of playing a pure Super Heavy Samurai deck, because Urgent Schedule is just the craziest card. I kind of mentioned Heavy Forward already. It searches the Infinitrax, mostly Brutal Dozer, or occasionally Anchor Drill, but we've got extra deck ways to search that. And Overdrive I already talked about. So let's go to the extra deck, start from this end. Scarecrow is good at the start. Once you had a spell in the grave, he's still good to make. You'd play this even if it had no effect at all. It might even be better because then it would be used as link material. You can summon a Soul Piercer, link it off, search a Peacemaker, equip Peacemaker to Scarecrow, tribute them off, find Scales, bring back Soul Piercer. That's gives you 2 monsters to make a link to and still get another search. Which might be Plat Gadget, and then you can summon the card you search. You can just keep going. We've got IP as a generic link to. Ballista, you make that with 2 Earth Machines and it searches the Gearbox, which then searches something else. It's also got another effect to send a spell or trap. You can send any of these really. Leftover Heavy Forward. You can even send a equipped Super Heavy Samurai Soul Piercer, you equip it to a monster, and then send it for Ballista's effect. It came up a surprising number of times in the tournament, so, not nothing. Plat Gadget is great, it's good. It's used in the VFD, True King of All Calamities combo. Lambda, if you open the right, you open Soul Piercer and an extender, like either Soul Horns, another Soul Piercer, or a Bullet Train. You can make Lambda and then make VFD. So that protects you from Nibiru and protects you from Ash Blossom on your Peacemaker. Assuming you had a Gamma in hand as well, of course. But even if you don't have Gamma in hand, it's still good to make because everyone is too scared of your Gamma to Nibiru you and give you the extra 2 materials of extension. Because if they did use a hand trap and you use Gamma, you can link off the driver, and then Gamma will banish itself in the end phase, triggering Lambda to search another Gamma. So they've not even they've baited baiting out your negate that they've not played through it. You've still got Gamma in hand at the end. Nightmares, Phoenix, Unicorn, Access Code Talker. These get problematic stuff off the field. Baguska at the panic button. You can't beat the board. Let's try and wait till next turn. Iron Wolf is a great way of sneaking into Zeus. You can attack directly. Gigant is a great way of toolboxing out most of the deck. Riverstormer is the rank 5 we make using Brutal Dozer. Titanic Galaxy is another target for Anchor Drill. It's spell negate instead of monster negate. True King of All Calamities is amazing. Wins games on its own, as does AA Zeus. The side we've got DD Crows for Drytron, Ash for everyone, Eccentric and Garuda for anything playing lots of back row. These are just MST that don't go to the graveyard, which we do care about for the very first play of the turn, because it's helpful to not lock yourself out of Wagon or Scarecrow. And Nibiru is, Nibiru is sometimes necessary. Okay, let's have a look at some replays. These are the games I had. It's Drytron, Karakuri, MBT. This shouldn't be allowed. You can't make the two gimmicky Earth Machine decks play against each other. That's not okay. Mech Knight invoked, Dogma invoked. This was my loss in Swiss. Quite an embarrassing one as well. I could have won game 2. Fluffle, I should have lost. My opponent misplayed a couple of times. I got pretty lucky. Infernoble was a weird one, like a 60 card Eldritch variant. I'm not sure what that was. And then, of course, Top Cut against Zoo. You can see that on MBT's channel. The VOD is there. So let's have a look at this Mech Knight invoked game. I think that was a pretty good one. Yeah? Alright, what we got here? We're going first. And we've not opened Soul Piercer, which is always terrible. So we're going to go with Hope Harbinger past there. Throwing a Kaiju Hunters. I messed up. I put my chainable trap. These should be swapped. I should have my chainable trap here so I could activate it now and separate the columns. But, you know, Mech Knights catch you by surprise sometimes. Let's keep this going. So Almirage is a great way to play around Citadel. I really like that. You can keep one of his monsters. So he tries to pop my urgent schedule, so I chain it. Some monsters. Verte Anaconda. He can't go for Red Ice Fusion because he's got it in hand, which was lucky, I suppose. I think I might have just lost, right? Bam, bam. That attacks over this and attacks for game. Ooh, closer than I thought. These super polys basically clears the board, or not. So we get our resources back thanks to Bullet Train. Drew a Gamma, so I'd go for Lander to protect myself from hand traps. We start just getting monsters onto the board. I think we're aiming for a Unicorn because we don't want to trigger this thing's on destruction effect. And just look how many cards I managed to get into my hand. Another thing is that as a Gearbox is good for being a discard for Unicorn. So into game 2. Decided into back row removal because of that Mech Knight trap card that negates monster effects. That's a real pain. I didn't want to run into that. I don't know if they even cited it in there. Let's have a look. No, I was worried for nothing. So we're going first. We've just drawn all the materials for True King of All Calamities. No combo required. So immediately, Kaiju Slumber. It's kind of super poly for Macabre because I picked light for no particular reason, I suppose. Yeah, they pass back to us, and we're just trying to bait this negate, not sure when he's going to throw it out. We get our summon, and that's where he throws it. We link off into Scarecrow. We've not got any spells in the grave, so we can recover with that. Okay, I really like this play. We've got pretty much no resources left. We just had the one Superheavy Samurai monster and a discard. We brought back Wagon, searched for Soul Horns. We can summon Soul Horns and make the Lister. The Lister, of course, searches Gearbox, and then we search Tunneler. We can tribute the Scarecrow for Tunneler, which wouldn't normally be able to be used as link material, but it can be tributed. That means we can go into Unicorn and discard the gearbox we searched as the cost. So they're from... That's like a 1-card link with just a Super Heavy Samurai monster. Very good. All you need is a... the right thing in the graveyard. Here I mess up. I remember this. I went for Ballista because I've shuffled back my gearbox. I should have gone for what do you call it? Platinum Gadget. Because I can't do anything from here. I just search all these great cards for next turn. And have to pass. I've got no summons left. So he combos off with Macabre. Right, we gotta bait a negate again. He does that, and you might have seen that in the top 8 match. Your normal summon gets disrupted. You're in a bit of trouble. An empty field, Brutal Dozer, and Bullet Train both require you to have a monster on the field for them to be extenders. So they're not. So if you keep the board empty, there's not a lot I can do about it. Yeah, so we lost that game, unfortunately. We're going to game 3. We're going first again. I know you usually make Mech Knights go first, but I wanted to combo off. So this is what you do if you have Soul Piercer and an extender. I was bluffing a Gamma here. And it didn't matter because he's not got any hand traps anyway, so I could have gone for something more aggressive, probably. But yeah, Ballista can search for the Anchor Drill, and then we can make Platinum Gadget and Anchor Drill Summons Tunneler. They both become level 9, and they will have True King of All Calamities. We can get the add back in the end phase thanks to Bullet Train. Right, so opponent goes for a bunch of monsters. I think they go for Verti Anaconda, I can't remember. No, just a Blacklisted Soldier. Can't be targeted. How are we going to get over that? Luckily, Access Code Torque is the solution to everything. This is another time where I would have liked to have been able to go into Zeus after making an Xyz monster, but I was locked into machines. Not locked into machines, locked into Earth monsters. So no Zeus. But we do have Citadel. But Almirage is some kind of counter to that. And here comes the Red Eyes Dragoon. So, what I see here is my opponent has very low life points left. So what I'm trying to do is bait the negate so I can then go into Iron Wolf and attack directly for game. But he just doesn't fire off the Dragoon, so I just keep activating things, probing for it. I add back everything I need for Brutal Dozer. Make Ballista, and I'm going to lower Verti Anaconda's effect. That was deliberate. I wasn't just trying to target Red Eyes and couldn't target it. You'll see in a second. If you want to see it already. He didn't negate Soulclaw. If he had negated Soulclaw, I could have overlaid the Gold Gadget with Wagon and attacked directly or attacked into Verti. But yeah, I can defense position. That shows off the combo pretty well, sure. I might upload the other replays separately, but that'll be a pretty long video. It's already getting quite a bit, so I'll stop it there. Alright, if you've got any questions, ask them in the comments. Yeah, that's the deck. See you next time. Bye!